You are good.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Health meeting. Just to let you know, this meeting is being remotely recorded via Zoom and will be shown on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. YouTube in conjunction with it. This is in accordance with the governor's orders regarding open meeting law and due to the COVID-19 virus. So welcome everyone. With that being said, we'll go to our first order of business, which is the food permit license renewal. Now, it's my understanding that we are not going to be doing inspections, but issuing, I guess we're at a point where we have to decide what the fee will be. Am I correct?
Well, Rosalind had kicked around the idea that should we give the restaurants a break on the price, given that they were closed out of, for like March to June. So they've lost April, May, 3 months.
And they're still
Okay. 3 months of operation.
Right, and they're still operating at a minimal capacity where it's still just curbside pickup. So I just wasn't sure what you guys, if you discussed any help that we could give them at this time. I don't know what the options are legally, but I just didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about it. I'm sure it would be appreciated by the businesses if there was anything we could do to help them out.
Yeah, they're up for renewal the end of this month, correct? June 30?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so they've lost 3 months of the previous year of the $125 paid. Am I that correct?
Yes.
So, do we want to refund a portion of that $125, or do we want to reduce the fiscal year 21 renewal by that amount? I guess that would be the question that's in front of us.
I think
my thoughts are it would be much simpler to.
Oh, Matt, you're gonna have to unmute if you want to say something.
Yeah, you can't do a refund. It's going to be.
That would be a nightmare, correct?
Look at it going forward.
Yeah, what's your feeling on reducing the new permit, say prorated by 3 months, which is what they lost this last year?
If you prorate that 125, you'd be looking at a reduction of 31.25 for the year.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if that's legal, but I don't have a problem with it. Anybody?
Suspend when it was due to, or what's the word I want that to, when July 31st, they would pay it, maybe.
Is that Kevin?
No. Is there any way to find out if we can actually do that?
Yes.
Do this? 'Cause my original idea was to.
We reduced the fee
payment out
just
until, like,
for, I mean, even like nonprofits and stuff like that on a case-by-case basis, so.
Yeah. No, if that's the case, then I think an even number would be easier, like 100. But it's 125 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it 100.
I'd like to keep it at an even number, so 100 I think is good instead of 125.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kevin, you on board with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's vote. All in favor of reducing the fiscal year 21 food permit license renewal to $100? Say aye, and I will do a Roll call, Mr. Tanis,
I don't think we had a formal motion, so I'll make a formal motion that we reduce the
oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
food service permit by $25, so it'll be $100 instead of $125, only for fiscal year 21's permits.
Is there
Due
a second?
to the unforeseen pandemic and closures of the restaurants.
Very good.
Second, with discussion, is retail a different price?
Is what a different price? Retail.
Retail's a different price, but they're already operating, right?
Yeah, they've been open.
Okay, I second the motion.
Well, essential retail, and I don't know of any retail. We don't have much retail in town.
Ross, say it again.
Right now, renewing is milk cream, food, and residential kitchens.
Yeah, I would just recommend it's just the permit itself for the food. Milk and cream is still milk and cream, right? That's-
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with Kevin.
Yeah, so instead of 125, it's 100. I
Right.
second the motion.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, Mr. Tanis,
Aye.
Mr. Bernardo.
Aye.
Okay, aye for myself also. Motion carries. All set, Ross?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Nice idea, by the way. Okay, moving on to old business, reopening procedures and policies. First let me ask Mr. Pilling a question. The reopening committee, where are they at with this as far as the process for town hall and Parks and Rec? Well, restaurants, Parks and Rec will probably be state governed anyway.
Yep.
The
So
town hall, the offices are open at 25%. So if we want to talk about that, we can talk about all of them. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
all right. So the way the guidance came up from the governor is it's 25% capacity of each room if you had an occupancy permit. If you didn't, you were supposed to take how many people were usually in the room and go 25%. So most buildings have an occupancy by the building. So what Roz and I did is we went around and measured all the rooms, put together a spreadsheet showing how big the room was, and then Jim determined the capacity of each room and issued a certificate of occupancy for each room in Town Hall and Old Town Hall. So we could then work on 25% occupancy. So we established how many could be in each room. Most of the rooms are okay with what they have, but a couple of the rooms we had to go with split shifts. We're talking about even separating and like taking the town clerk and the town treasurer and separating them. We're working on that right now, trying to get like wiring and stuff for computers, and that's being worked on as we speak. There's plastic shields, which I don't know how well that's shown up on the screen, but we have a plastic shield now to protect us from the public, and that's been put in any office that deals with the public. Prime time is still closed. The library is still closed except for drive-by pickups, curbside pickup. Today, Mallory had the Board of Health office do a training for social distancing. So we covered these topics in a video Zoom, which is available if anybody wants to watch it. It was recorded, so we covered that and explained people washing hands is better than sanitizer, et cetera, et cetera. But I fully expect that we are going to be opening town hall to the public any day now. The building inspector was on that committee, and he's away on vacation at the moment, and he's going to be back, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be opening it any day now, probably Monday, because it's just easier to open on a Monday.
Well, that sounds good. Now, what was the opening date on restaurants? I read the guidance, by the way, on restaurants. And what you've created, I think we should, is it available to you to show to everybody?
So they're allowed to be open right now for takeout only. Once phase 2 starts, they can be open for takeout and outdoor seating. And there's limitations to the outdoor seating regarding spacing and policies and procedures and restrictions that the establishments have to follow. There's that guidance and checklists and things like that. That's at the start of phase 2, which could be as early as next Monday, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed out to the 15th. And then at some point later on during phase 2, they may allow some indoor seating. That's to be determined.
Yeah, there was some guidance regarding inside and outside for sanitation and spacing and so forth, so on. And what I was trying to get from Todd was, you guys have probably already seen the information that came down, and Todd created a worksheet, if you will, for the restaurant owners to, well, they have to self-certify anyway, but this is over and above. Todd, you want to jump in here, please?
Sure. So I felt it would be easier for me if I had every restaurant fill in a form so I'd have an idea of what they were doing. And so I developed a little spreadsheet that would identify certain provisions. I just want to know whether they're going to be throwing away their silverware and how they're doing the menus. It just make it easier for following up with them. We also did, I forgot to mention this with Town Hall reopening, but we created a self-certification form that every employee in Town Hall has to fill in when they get to work. I've modified it to add in the manager's initials over on the right. So each employee would have their own piece of paper, so nobody's touching each other's papers. And each day when they get to work, they're going to have to do a self-certification. I mean, I'll offer this to the restaurants if they want it. But yeah, just trying to put something together so we can keep better track of them and understand what they're doing.
I think that would be certainly a lot easier for whoever goes out and does the inspection also, to make sure for compliance on things. But that's a little bit down the road. But it looked good as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how anybody else feels about that idea. If you want to hop in.
Yeah, I'll circulate it to the board so everybody can see it for both of them, and just if they've got any comments, they can weigh in. But
Okay. All right. Okay,
Mr.
moving
Chairman,
on.
I'm sorry. I have a question about occupancy. Just a very quick question. What is the occupancy for the Old Town Hall upstairs?
yeah,
I don't have that answer.
I feel like it's
I
like
thought it was
100.
about 100 and something.
Yeah, it's like 100 and something, so 25 would be the 25%, but because we can't have gatherings over 10 right now, it's kind of a moot point, but we can get that from Jim.
Okay, Todd, the only reason why I asked that is because the planning board is scheduled to have a public hearing inside that facility on Wednesday evening. So we're still relegated to only 10 people. That's going to be maybe difficult to do because we have to do these public hearings in order to have action on the warrant at town meeting.
So I've already spoken with Mallory about that, because what she's thinking is if you got your 5 planning board members and a member from the Conservation Commission, the Cable Committee in the room, that's 6. So they could have up to 4, that their office manager, Kerry, could be outside, and if people are outside, they can let them in a few at a time to say their piece. But we might even be able to have a laptop outside so people could watch the meeting outside, or watch it on their phones if it's on Zoom like you guys are doing now, and they can still be there.
Okay.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, I was going to go, but I'm going to do it remote, so there'll be one less person in the building.
Yep, you can do that too.
And probably Woody will also do the same thing. Tim, I think, didn't Joe Figueredo do it remotely last time?
Yes, he did also. Yes, he did.
Yeah, so,
I will talk to our office manager in the morning and have her get together with the town administrator to set up a Zoom meeting for that evening
okay.
for our members and also just for people for the general public too. So I don't want to tie up your meeting. All right.
Yeah, Carrie
Yeah,
already
good, thank
emailed
you.
me. Carrie already emailed today about how to do that meeting. So I think she's looking for help from Mallory and I to get the logistics in place. So
Okay. Okay. I'll reach out to her before we meet on Wednesday night anyway. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to, are we ready to move on to item C, Parks Rec and Sports Leagues? Well, Todd, you might as well take that one too.
they haven't said much about the recreation and stuff, but it's going to be phase 2 for baseball, where they can start practicing only, where, you know, somebody's hitting the ball to somebody and they pick it up and throw it to the first baseman. There's nobody running bases, there's no tagging or anything like that. Phase 3 is when they're going to allow games. And of course, there's no dates for phase 2 or phase 3 yet, but that's referring to mostly baseball and softball. Parks and Rec, we're still waiting for guidance on that, but it sounds like it's going to be phase 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what about,
if I
so
may,
that would
Mr.
be
Chairman.
No, I was just going to say that would be applicable to all our sports leagues also. They're going to have a season or make an amended season or something. But go ahead and ask your question. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to comment that I have been receiving calls already from AAU baseball teams who utilize the Carl Spratt Field. And a gentleman had sent me down some guidance that he received from the AAU, and I mentioned to him that everything is still under the control of the local Board of Health. Even though the governor has his order, the order's come down and it's still under control of the Board of Health. Until I find out what the parameters are from them, all bets are off right now, so there'll be no activities until further notice. Also, you're getting people that are still going into the playgrounds to play basketball on school lanes, that type of thing. I asked these people to remove themselves very nicely, and they did. They were young, they did. They understood. But if we're going to go any further, I would suggest if the Board of Health has access to funding, that we need to put some proper signage everywhere, not just, paper signs inside of a sleeve.
Well, the other thing we kicked around and other towns are doing is just removing the rims and the nets right off the backboards. That usually stops people from playing basketball.
Correct. We discussed that before, and Mr. Ferry had gone up and just put a chain across there and did not remove the basket. So that's probably going to be our next course of action, is to remove the rims.
It very well may be.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay.
All right.
So just to go, Todd, very quickly, just a question. I know the governor was on today and has not set a date, but you were talking about this could be a possible overlap in phase 2 and phase 3 for athletics to open up.
Well, they said to us that phase 2 is when practices would start and phase 3 is games.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Matt, Kevin, anything you want to add to any of this?
I don't have anything.
Matt?
Now, I before you guys move on, I just have a quick question. Now, I just want to throw this hypothetical out there. What happens if we go back into a phase again in the fall? Okay. And I would think that the same parameters will happen. The government will probably shut everything down and so on and so forth. How well prepared are we to go forward with that, if that does happen?
Well,
I think we're as prepared as we can be and need to be, I believe.
Okay.
I think the people in that office have done a fantastic job. It's such a workload at this point, and As a matter of fact, probably getting behind as a result of it and other things. But no, I think we're prepared. The only thing we need to think about, perhaps, is if they do get a vaccine, like in the next 6 months or a year, is it going to be a situation where they want it done as soon as possible? I think it depends where we are with the virus at this point, whether it's going to be a emergency dispensing site item or just your own physician. So that's my thoughts. But if somebody else has any, that's fine. Please join in. No.
Well, the other thing I want to.
Prepared.
What was that, Kevin?
I think if it happens again in the fall, which we're going to get more cases in the fall, we're just going to be better prepared. So right now we'll go through the phases. We'll build our experience with it, and hopefully we'll learn.
I will say also that the CARES grant that was like $500 million that went out, Dayton's got like $650,000 to deal with how to continue to go through with this. And so that's part of what we've been doing and working with the reopening committee, and like some of these shields and stuff that we've gotten is being covered under CARES. So we're getting there.
Right. I just, I would like to thank the Board of Health for including me in tonight's meeting. And before I do go, is that if guidance does come down from the governor in regards to opening up more playgrounds under phase 2 and 3, that something be put into a very simple PDF sent to us. That way we have that, and we can just, I can send it out to whomever is, utilizing our spaces.
Yeah, maybe we need to do it a work type message for the parks and so forth. They are still closed to the public. They won't open it. Area. Oh. We talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad, Tom.
Okay. I won't talk anymore. All right. Any public input? Anybody on here besides us?
Yeah, but Tim, before you go.
Yes.
Two things. Number one is we heard from Leanne at the selectman's office that you told her that anyone wishing to schedule the fields for events needs to do so with the Board of Health. Now, you're not looking for us to schedule it. You're only looking for us to tell them whether they can have it or not, that you're going to deal with the schedule.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, Todd, that's correct.
I figured as much. I'm like, I don't want to do the scheduling. That's your job. So, okay.
You get enough to do as it is. And thanks for everything you guys are doing. So.
All right. So one more thing that Tim, stay on for here. So our hazardous household waste day is scheduled for June 13th. We just heard from Clean Harbors, and they have some additional requirements for this year. Porta potties on site, hand washing facilities, whatever. But they're saying that an understanding and communication to residents that waste will only be accepted from pickup truck beds, trunks, and the backs of SUVs. We will not take anything out of the vehicle, like, open the door and reach in the car. An understanding and communication to residents, we will not return any containers. That includes gas containers and storage totes. And any resident who attempts to or exits a car will be asked to leave. So that's going to mean, and I've never been to one of Dayton's hazardous waste days, so obviously we're going to need somebody at the gate telling people, look, here's the rule. So get out now and take it out of your car and put it in your trunk so that when you get up to the hazardous waste people, you can leave your trunk open. And obviously make sure everybody knows when they get there, because we only have a week to try and get this information out to everybody. I don't think we're going to be able to get it to everybody. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will start, I'm sorry, Tom. I will start to mention that to the residents who come in tomorrow when I hand out the sheet for the hazardous waste day of what you just mentioned of pickup trucks or out of the trunk of a car. No one is to exit their vehicle unless they have it in their vehicle. They can stop, put it into the trunk, return to the vehicle. There will be no returns, and you must stay in your vehicle. So I'll try to get that out to everyone as much as possible.
Well, I'll take this and I'll just photocopy the relevant portion and I'll bring you up like 50 of them for you to hand out at the transfer station.
Great, great. I just want to say that I have been getting a large response in regards to Hazardous Waste Day, so I think it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, we've been getting some calls here also.
So we were thinking.
Yeah, there's also this side they're going.
So Tom, we were thinking if somebody could be at the entrance to like greet people and kind of explain the system, it's probably gonna have to be another body. Tim's never gonna be able to keep up with that.
I usually sit there and greet people and see what they have and tell
good.
them.
So you'd be able to tell them to move it around or, you know, put it in their trunk.
Yeah,
put it in
just,
the
you
car.
give me a copy of that. I'll go through the process with every car that comes through.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, I'm putting in for overtime.
You should.
Yeah, I do that every year. It's kind of like a tradition, but it's only been twice, so and no problem at all.
No, that would be great. I'm sure that would be a big help.
Yeah, I'm having a cookout this year if anybody wants to sit there with me. So Kevin, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you know what? I do have a conflict now because I'm going for surgery on June 11th
Oh,
for my foot.
okay. All right. No, I'll do what I have to do there on that day.
It really depends how I feel. If I can hop along Cassie, we'll do that, right?
Yeah. Okay, moving. Any more public input? Matt, you're awful quiet.
We got nothing.
I didn't get to minutes, sorry.
Yeah, Matt doesn't have anything. Roz hasn't done any minutes. We haven't been able to finish them. We've been preoccupied.
So you got any reports?
I do have one thing, or well, I guess it's one thing. So, or two things, but they kind of go together. So one of the things we've been taking advantage of lately is that flashing sign that the DPW uses to advertise road closure and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you've seen it around town. We've been using it to advertise the bulky item pickup week. And we've actually been selling a lot of stickers. So it seems to be getting the word out there. We're going to switch it over to Household Hazardous Waste Day come Thursday this week. So they'll have a week of seeing that sign. Then we're going to switch over to rabies, pink bags, code red. We're going to try and keep using that sign. And Tom moves it around every couple of days around town, hitting different audiences. But one of the things that did come up from our trash collectors is I guess now a lot of people are not tying the clear Dighton bags. They're like just jamming in and it's open. So the employees are basically having to lift and they're struggling with it. And they're now having to touch the trash inside the bags and stuff, which we're trying not to do. So we're going to switch the sign over to say town trash bags must be tied, protect our workers. And we'll try and get the word out that way because we have no other way to kind of blast it to everybody in town.
Yeah, that's nothing new. There was a memo that came out from a former selectman regarding the need to tie the trash bag. So
I remember that, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, and then what people are trying to do is just trying to force an extra bag in there, and they can't even tie it themselves. That's just being inconsiderate. So
Yeah.
even
I
if
believe it was.
that continues to happen in the same households, I would leave it behind and leave a sticker saying, "Hey, we're not going to take it."
Yeah, bags must be tied. All right, we'll figure out how we're going to proceed with that. But yeah, I agree, and that's the policy, and that's been that way for years now.
It is the policy, and I brought that up to Peter that, you know, reminded them that they don't pick up bags that are not tied. And he said, well, you know, sometimes you hate to leave it. So I think they've kind of gotten, I don't want to say lax, that's the wrong word. I think they've been being nice and have been picking up bags. But I don't know if you guys want to vote so that he can say, we were told we cannot pick up a bag, because people are going to call us and complain that the bags didn't get picked up.
Couldn't he leave a sticker the first time?
What was that?
Couldn't he leave some kind of sticker the first time saying, almost like a warning? So then they'll call and find out what the heck's going on.
Yeah, we've never gotten to get far enough ahead to actually get stickers or anything for him. So no, he doesn't have anything to put on the,
I think since it's not on the agenda, we shouldn't be taking a vote on it, so.
oh, okay, sorry.
Put it on for the next meeting, and we can discuss them both. Going
That's a
forward.
good point, Matt. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
This is Tim Renz, I'm still here. I'll do my best to communicate that to the residents who do use the transfer station, excuse me, on Tuesdays and Saturdays, to let them know that, you know, that's been the policy all along. So I'll try to spread that word.
That would be great, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow morning. If we can find that memo and make some copies of it, and as I ride around town, I'd be more than happy to put it in somebody's door that has not tied their bags, just as a notice until we get on top of this. Start alerting people. There's probably only the same people that, it is the same people, I think, that probably don't tie their bags. I think maybe we should, at the selectmen's meeting on June 10th, make that part of our correspondence to them, that they alert the people that the policy is to tie the trash bags. That's next week, June 10th. Oh, Todd and I have to go to the selectmen's meeting, or participate in the selectmen's meeting, June 10th also, regarding the trash bag increase. I think what they want to do is have us discuss the rationale behind all of it and the justification, so the people will understand why the trash bag increase came into effect. I don't believe any of them are opposed to it, but there has been some kickback from residents. So we certainly have a lot of justification.
And Mr. Rhines,
and
we
we
heard
will-
that you stepped to the Board of Health defense on Facebook, so I haven't read any of the Facebook posts, but thank you.
I want to make a comment as a resident, is that me personally, I do not have a problem with the increase to spend $120 a month, a year, in order for the town to pick up my trash. I think that service is, you know, it's been provided for us for so many years. Me personally, a $5 increase, it's not going to hurt me, but I understand others, yes, it may, if they're on a limited income, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think the residents don't really understand that trash removal and cost is just, you know, quadrupled in the last couple of years. So, and that's a lot of it. And I'm sure that you guys can attest to that. So.
Right. We got, everything's in place for the presentation. So already. Todd, are you done with inspectors reports?
What's up? Yes.
Okay. And there's no minutes, correct?
No minutes.
2 minutes.
You said in the beginning. Okay, well, let's, anybody else have anything they want to discuss or bring up? Matt?
No, I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
No, they are working very hard over there, so.
Well, it helps to have a
Okay.
good board to support us, so.
Yeah, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a
Yeah, you
second?
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded to adjourn. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I got both of those. Okay, so the meeting is adjourned. Night, everybody. Have a good weekend. And if you're following us, thank you very much.